smooth might make your head blow off.
Hey yo, it's a talk show host, Kana Lassiter. Join me for an episode of Relations, the most lit hour of adult conversation.
Hold up, you know you can't forget about me. It's 51 Spade, Alpha Male God, one half of Relations. You wanna hear the truth? Can you handle the truth? It's where it's at, baby. It's where it's at, baby.
What's good, and welcome to an all-new episode of Relations. My name is Kana Lassiter.
It's your boy, 51 Spade, Alpha Male God, a.k.a. the ninja you love to hate. I'm in the building.
You know how we do it. We bring you two exciting topics every single Friday night. The first one tonight is, it's not good enough to let go of the person that hurt you. You have to let go of the person who allowed that type of treatment. That's the first topic. And the second topic is the thin line between putting in effort and actually chasing somebody, which I hate. So let's jump into that one first. Okay, so the first topic we're going to tackle tonight is the thin line between putting in effort and feeling like you're chasing somebody. I feel like this is a relevant topic for me because I'm a doer in every single situation. Like, if there's a project and I'm involved in the project and there are 10 people, I'm going to somehow nudge my way to one of the leaders in the group where I'm helping organize. So I'm really a doer in situations. And so sometimes when you're a doer, you are feeling like, wow, are the other people involved really doing like I'm doing? Are they matching my effort? And if not, it borderlines to like, wait, am I chasing? Because have you ever sent someone a text, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good afternoon, good night? It's like you're always the first to initiate something. After a while, you kind of feel like, damn, does this person want to be with me? Because their effort isn't matching mine. If I'm waking up in the morning and the first person I think of is you, but 4 hours passes by before you send the good morning text by and you've been up, then the first person that you thought about wasn't me. And even though you may have relevant things going on where other things take priority, it only takes a second. So if someone said, well, I didn't text you good morning because I was just really busy. When you're really busy, when you got to pee, you still go to the bathroom. When you're really busy and you got cotton mouth, you still go to the refrigerator to get water. So there are certain things that are a necessity. And I think I just want to feel like I'm a necessity and I want to feel like that all the time. So maybe that's why it's such a passionate subject for me.
Okay. There's a lot of ways to tackle this, if I'm being completely honest. As you were sitting talking, I was thinking to myself, when you're dating, and I'm actually thinking about this because I was having a conversation with someone that hopped back in the dating game from after being married for a significant longer time, and then hopped back in, and she was like, it was a female, and she was like, I do not like this dating shit. Now, keep in mind, she was married almost 20-something years, which means that she been off the market 20-something years, and then you bring in dating at this day and age. And when you were sitting there talking, it's a lot of different ways that can be received on both ways. From your end, since you said that you was a doer, I understand that, and I totally get it. But at the same point in time, whatever energy you put out doesn't mean that your energy have to be matched. And the second thing is, it can look like borderline stalking or borderline tallying. And this is something, and that's the reason I brought up the lady, because she was like, it feels like it's a game when you dating. Like, hey, I do this, match point, and it's like you playing tennis or some shit like that. Like, you waiting, you want to serve the ball, and then somebody else you're expecting the return back of that of that tennis ball. Absolutely. Which I do get, but at some point in time, you might turn into Serena. And you hitting a strong serve that someone can't return sometimes, and you expect and you're expecting the return, and you're keeping, you keeping tallies, and you keeping score. And I would say that might not be the right way to go into a relationship, necessarily keeping score, because I think that's what brings in the problems. It's like how you were saying, I'm saying good morning, good morning, good morning. My approach to a lot of shit, which might be wrong, might be right. If I send one good morning text, I ain't sending another one. That's just me. I'm not sending it for a multiple of reasons. Everybody is glued to their goddamn phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way that you ain't see this fucking good morning text. That you didn't see my call, a missed call. There's voicemail. It's all kind of things that I know for a fact that you saw it. So I kind of match people's energy with how they give it to me. So if I send a good morning text and you don't send it back, I'm not finna text you back. And if you text me back later on, hey, my day was hectic, cool, whatever, this and that, I'm like, cool. I mean, what do you want me to do with that? Like, there's nothing really I can do with that.
So you won't complain, but you also aren't going to go tit for tat.
Well,
you're just going to match the energy. So it makes it, but I'm going to say this. I get that. And I respect it. And a lot of times, it's not the first time I've heard somebody say, hey, man, you need to treat people the way they treat you. Stop being extra. That's cool. But I will say this.
Well, I don't think nothing wrong with being extra. It's the tallying of it that I feel like is, because we're talking about relationships.
Yes.
So when you're talking about keeping score, like how you just said, I sent a good morning, and I sent another good morning, and I sent another good morning. First of all, and just me, you're starting to look a little stalkerish.
And it feels that way.
Yeah. Now, I get your point of what you're saying, but my thing is, you looking at it from one-way energy, and sometimes I think if you're dealing with somebody, you have to give them that sometimes, not every time, sometimes. And I think you as an adult and being an intelligent person, you can kind of figure out if someone is just bullshitting with you and someone is busy, it's not a
Adulting.
It's not a constant thing that's going on. Like, if you're doing that shit for like 4 straight days, I'm imagining that the motherfucker just don't want to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Now, if this is like a situation that happened and they like, hey, I had a shitty day, I hadn't been on my phone all day. Yeah, you could be upset about where they're prioritizing you. You might be 4th or 5th on the list. And that would be your complaint. I'm 4th, 5th on the list. Why am I 4th, 5th on the list? And it's something that you might have to have a conversation about. Like, why am I 5th down the line? And individuals.
You know what? But I think when you're adulting, I think that is the answer. If I sat down with somebody and I said, why am I 4th or 5th on the list? I have to expect that this adult with a life is going to have a good answer. And I have already accepted that. So
let me ask you a question.
But hell, let me finish the point.
Hold on, before you go.
You're going to make me lose it, though. Go ahead.
You're going to lose it? Go ahead.
Okay. So I have to accept that they might have a good answer. This is my problem.
Okay.
A lack of humility. A lack of acknowledging that, wow, this person does a lot. Thank you. Or doing something, if you know that something is a pet peeve for somebody and you know that you are forcing them to deal with it because of the way your life is set up, there should be empathy in that. Not only empathy, there should be an acknowledgement of that. I don't feel like a situation is going to be good if you pretend like life isn't that way. So I can't date somebody who has broken a date on me every Friday of the month since we've been dating and then pretending like it's not. So you just come over to the house like we haven't missed 4 dates. You show up with flowers like it never happened. The first thing women expect is, you know what? I am so sorry this has been so shitty. Let me say that first. Our dating life has been shitty as hell. You know what? It's the elephant in the room. And when the person that is contributing to the situation being shitty actually says it first, It's like you could take a deep breath because you want to say that, but you really shouldn't have to because you know the other person already knows it's shitty. The other person knows, and them pretending that it's not shitty is not doing any justice. So if they take responsibility and stand in the paint and say, you know what, I just know things have been so shitty lately, it's kind of relief on the other person because they're not the person now saying it and complaining. So it shifts the energy. It shifts it right away. And if anybody has ever taken therapy or self-help, that's the first thing it teaches you is when you are the reason, then apologize. Be the first to say it and take control of it. Just admit it. I know what I'm bad at. So I would be able to apologize. If I'm clumsy, I can't ignore that I'm fucking clumsy. So you just want me to so I'm going to get mad at you for asking me to move away from your shit because every time I'm around your shit, I fuck something up. If every time I'm around, I fuck something up, I cannot get mad at you for saying, please stand over there. It wouldn't make any sense for me to blow up at you. You asked me to move and da-da-da. You actually have valid proof that, well, Kana, every time that you've stepped over here, you've knocked something over. So forgive me for protecting my shit. That's how ludicrous some of this is. Pretending like you don't have a certain bad habit and making the other person feel like they're wrong for bringing it up. You know what? You're right. We shouldn't bring it up because you should. You should step in and say, yeah, this is shitty, especially when you're dating. Especially when you're dating. Be able to admit that and just not gloss over it would help it a lot for me, personally.
A lot of people don't go to therapy. A lot of people don't know what's wrong with them. It's good to think that way, and it's good to think that someone have to take into consideration like shit that they do. But the other thing is, even though you bringing up the word humility, sometimes people don't know their faults are something that they always make excuses for. So even though you're saying I shouldn't have to bring it up, you're the person with the problem. See, the person can't fix the problem if you ain't ever bringing it up. Mm-hmm. There was a point in time, I'm quite sure, when you chased the guy.
Yes.
Okay? And I bet you money that guy didn't apologize for
allowing you to chase.
For allowing you to chase and do whatever he did. You still gave him some pussy. You still gave him some head. You still was looking like a buffoon. It don't matter. But
that's a person taking advantage of who you are.
No, it's not. See, that's the thing. Because you're on the opposite end. You feel that way. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to tell you. Like, if someone is giving me shit, you know what I'm saying? Like pussy. Mm-hmm. If someone if someone is giving me that, I'm just gonna give an example of some shit. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm fucking with this chick. I never took her to dinner. We ain't go to no movies. Only thing that we basically did was fuck. You know what I'm saying? She got off work. She came over to the house. We fucked and she left. Now, later on down the line, I saw her. And the very first thing that she said to me, she was like, you never took me anywhere. She was like, all we did was fuck. I know that. Like, you knew that. Like, if that was a complaint, then you say something to me. Why am I going to do extra shit? Because I'm not a doer. Hold on. I'm not a doer. I'm not you. See, the difference is people have different things that go on in their mind that are totally different. If you're not complaining about something, which she was not complaining about, she didn't have to come over there and fuck. She didn't have to come over there night after night after night after night to fuck. Mm-hmm. You was. I'm not taking advantage of you. That's just what you brought that's what you presented to me on a table. That I did not have to take her to the movies. I did not have to take her because it wasn't required. And sometimes when people say like, hey, you think like next time I come over there, like we could probably go to the movies? She'd have got my answer. Versus seeing me later and saying, well, all we did was fuck. That's the only thing that's the only thing that you brought to me.
And I really want to agree with you because it's not your fault that she didn't set a standard. But I will say this about young women with young minds. You know, it's easy to fall into a pattern that seems easy when it comes to a man not causing conflict. I'm not saying it's right. But if you let a man lead, and that's where he's leading you to, you come over here, we gonna smash. Just know that the more that you're smashing this person, the more and more they're thinking about or trying to manifest a different type of relationship, a deeper relationship. And I will say that I know as a young woman that I just hoped for things like that. I would hope that I would never say, hey, take me to dinner, because even saying it doesn't sound right. You don't want to ask a man, hey, you want to take me to the movie, especially after you done been in this house and you've been smashing every day after work. It feels real awkward to have to say that. You would hope that this person likes me and he is a gentleman, that he will offer to take me out to dinner, that he will offer to take me to the movies. For a young woman to have to say that after the smash. Now, I totally agree with you that she should say it before the smash, because that's me all the way. But after the smash, it is awkward to say, well, damn, all you've been doing is fucking me. Take me to dinner. Because if you say, okay, you only took me to dinner because I asked. You only took me to dinner because I'm complaining now. And you're only taking me to dinner so I can shut the fuck up and you can put your dick in my mouth. That's it. You're not taking me because in your heart you feel like, damn, I like Shorty. I want to take her out to dinner and have dinner conversation. And at the end of the day, a grown woman wants that. I don't want to have to ask you to take me to eat. I want you to come to me and say, get dressed. We going out to eat tonight, baby.
That's cool. You can put all this shit about like younger women, old women. They all fall into the same category. You ever heard that saying, clothes fed? See, this is actual saying for that reasoning. Like, not asking. I teach my kids, you ask for what you want. In
at
life.
What time? Time is everything.
See, that's the problem too. Women always say this shit about like timing. Like that. You know what that sound like? I'm trying to figure out the right time that I need to tell my girl I had some pussy last night. I didn't tell you because I was waiting for the right timing.
Oh, just hush.
No. Because you brought up it's the timing. Timing ain't got nothing to do with it. The result is going to be the result no matter what. Whether you do that shit at night, midnight, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, rock. It don't matter. It's just what it is. Like, people have this thing where they want people to be a mind reader and know what the other person is thinking. My feelings are hurt, so you supposed to know that my feelings are hurt because you canceled a date. If you don't say that shit, they don't know it because everybody don't think the same.
Oh my God! I completely disagree with you.
You a doer. I know why, because
How do
you a doer.
Break a date and not know that bothers somebody?
I didn't say anything about a date. I'm not.
You just said that.
I'm just talking in general. If you want to address a date situation,
situation where you have committed and you broke it, it's your responsibility to say, hey, I know that I broke the date. I'm sorry. It's not up to the other person.
So let me ask you a question.
Point out what you did. You know what you did.
So let me ask you a question. You hurt by someone that broke a date. Why do you go continue to mess with them? Whose fault is that?
I mean, if you want to say it's my fault.
Damn, how the voice went down, lower.
No.
Yeah, see, now it's getting high pitched.
But wait a minute.
But wait a minute.
Yes, I'm going to say this. I'm going to make this very clear. When you encounter a problem, you don't mark the problem off the person off the list because of that problem. I would be changing persons every other day.
But that's not what I said. You're asking, this person is not acknowledging that they canceled a date. Now, you can either A, confront it, what you're saying, I'm looking for the right time to confront the situation. Or you can just let this person fuck up and you upset. Now, the only person that's upset is you. This person isn't upset. They're carrying on about their day like whatever. And you upset. So now you're upset at the person. They don't know why you upset. Only you know why you upset. And you're not confronting it.
Rewind. Because I do not believe that person doesn't know that you're upset. I believe that people will pour gasoline on fire, let the fire grow, and then walk right by the fire like it ain't growing up, that it's not burning. They will set a fire and then pretend like they did not set it. I mean, or they will set a fire and then pretend like they don't see the smoke.
Okay, I got someone on Podbean that say if you do it once, you'll do it again. So that means that once they broke that date, they gonna continue to me and write in if I'm wrong. but they'll continue to do it again. And that's why I'm saying, like, you're talking about, like, acting like you can't strike somebody, but you can. Because, like I said, you're the one upset. Like, I get what you're saying, but the thing about you is, because you a doer, I find that people who are doers want the same energy match. Like, let me, because I cleaned up your house, and because I, did all this extra shit for you, it's like they want something in return. Like, life don't work that way. Everybody do not read from the same book of Cana. You know what I'm saying? Some people read from the book of 51 Spade, Alpha Male God, a lot of shit that go on. I'm not saying that you're wrong in what you're wanting. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. But not to address an issue.
That's wrong.
To me,
okay,
is
but
the problem.
I feel like you have more energy to, man, why didn't you address it? Versus energy towards, well, damn, why didn't you address the fact that you broke a date? Like, you have a lot of energy towards the person that's being damaged and not a lot of energy towards the person that's doing the damage.
Well, I'm only addressing it from the standpoint of you because this is what you're giving me. Now, if you want to go from the flip side of me addressing why some people don't address it, everybody isn't a doer. Some people don't keep match point. Some people don't do shit. Like, for instance, it's like, if I was going out with a woman, and every time I went out, let's say we went out on 6 dates, and every time I paid. So we went out on 6 dates and I paid, and now I'm thinking to myself, this bitch ain't paid for one date since we been out. And I say on the 7th date, you got this? I'm ready for that conflict that go into play. Now, she can give me whatever excuse she really want to. Well, I feel the man pays. My daddy told me
That's why I say the excuse might be good.
Yeah, but that excuse might not be good enough for me. Right. So because your daddy told you that, and I'm not saying, don't take my words and try to run with her. But what I'm saying is, just because she giving me that excuse, don't fucking mean that I have to accept that I have to accept the shit. Because I can say I understand, and your daddy got a good point. But I feel like, let's take turns paying. You understand? Like, this will make me feel a little bit more comfortable because now I'm starting to feel like you might be using me. You understand? And I'm just painting the scenario.
Okay, so I want to rebuttal that because...
Of course you do.
I just do because I get it. Especially, and I like that you brought up the issue of money because I've always been in the position where I was on the bad end of that. I lost money. But
most women find themselves on the bad.
Yeah, but I will say this: to hear you and to imagine you sitting across from somebody and saying, "I'm starting to feel like you're using me," hurts my feelings. And for you to have to say that, now you have alerted the game player, meaning this: you let them see your hand. And so when you say, I feel like you're using me, now it's easy to make you, if they are using you, now you're making it easier for them to continue to do that because now they know not what to do. Okay, so I need to go Dutch with this nigga and pay for a meal and just find another avenue because you showed your hand. I don't feel like I should always have to show my hand. I don't feel like having to confess that someone hurt my feelings because to me, it makes me, whether I'm right or wrong, it makes me feel and look weak. It makes me feel a little weak. And so that's why I'm like, okay, you don't call me, I ain't gonna call you. Yes, I'm hurt about it and I want to call you. And it is petty. It is. I will admit that it's petty. But who wants to put themselves in a position to look weak to somebody who you already feels like doesn't care? Look, that's the worst thing in the world. You can show weak. Hold on, let me finish. Okay. I got one more thing to say. Okay. I don't mind crying in front of my man. I don't mind humbling myself in front of my man because I know in his core he cares. If you are not sure someone really cares for you, to make yourself vulnerable like that and put yourself in a vulnerable place to say, hey, you are hurting my feelings, you almost are admitting to them that they can disturb your mood. You feel something for them that is deep because they can throw off your whole day. So it's almost exposing how much that person means to you without feeling like you feel the same way to that person. It's a very weird feeling to say, hey, this hurts me and it only hurts me because I care or I love you. But how is it easy to say that to someone who you feel like doesn't care? You don't want to say that to them because you don't want to show your hand. I don't want to show you my heart because you don't deserve to see my heart yet. And you don't deserve to see my heart because you haven't shown me yours. So I'm not going to show you mine. And even though that's petty, it's also being protective.
Tomato. Let me ask you a question. Okay, you say you've chased a guy before. What's something that you've done as far as chasing a guy that you felt you shouldn't have done? Just probably 2-3 things.
2 or 3 things. First thing I've done was come in and be a problem solver.
Now, don't make it broad.
I'm not. But you asked me what are the 3 things I did that made it look like I was doing too much.
Okay.
I want to be a priority. So if there's something in the way, a problem, so to speak, that's getting in the way of me being a priority, I want to swoop in and fix that problem so now I can be the priority. You can move that problem out of the way now and I can move into its spot. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
Because the problem is the priority. So I want to fix the problem. And then what else have I done? I've probably just over communicated. I did more communicating than the other person did. I'm the first one to text and I'm the last one to text. The first one to say good morning and the first one to say good night.
So I'm still waiting for an answer. Like
I just gave you one. You just told me to do 2 or 3 things. That's 2 out of 3.
That someone took advantage of you and that you felt like you shouldn't have did. But the problem solver is too vague. Like I'm asking
I paid for shit.
Like what?
If problem was the daycare, okay, you come chill with me tonight? Man, I gotta go work extra shifts because I got daycare killing me. Okay, how much is the daycare? Move daycare out of the way so you can come take me to the fucking movies.
Okay.
The daycare is $70, cool. I pay it so you don't gotta work that extra shift.
Okay.
So now I can get your time.
So you felt stupid afterwards, or like you felt like you shouldn't have did it?
I felt like I showed my hand. I felt like, okay, so that's how I'll get her. When she wants to do something, all I have to do is tell her something that I'm going through, so that she'll fix it so we could go do what she want to go do.
Okay.
So I showed my hand.
Very interesting. Men and women approach, and this is where I really wanted to say this. Men and women approach is very different towards shit. While I was listening to you say that, I don't ever want to show my hand, and I don't want to do it, and I don't want to feel that way. It's crazy because he showed his hand immediately and said, I don't want to spend no time with you because I got to take care of XYZ. He showed his hand with no problem. Now, and we just talked about embarrassment. Is a man, that sounds a little embarrassing, but he ain't had no problems saying,
well, how is it embarrassing telling somebody you going to work to take care of your child? That's not embarrassing. That's why I say people answers be real.
Can I talk? I let you long wind. Just let me talk.
Go ahead.
Okay. And I didn't say it's embarrassing. I said that can be a little embarrassing because you are also letting a woman know your financial status. So that's how it can be embarrassing. Okay. So you are letting the person that you're dating know that I ain't financially straight. I'm trying to hit this job because I'm a little behind in child support or whatever the case may be. So that is a little embarrassing. And you want to swoop in and save the day like you Superwoman. But at the end of the day, he had no problem doing that. And most men don't have no problem doing that. If a man wanted to say, look, man, you don't suck my dick long enough, he can promote that, and you gonna change what you gotta do with not feeling an ounce of dignity or anything. If he out somewhere and say, hey, I want these Jordans, you gonna swoop in and save the day and instead of putting some stop to this shit. Now, if I was out somewhere and a woman said to me, and this has happened to me, I'm fucking with a chick, she said, oh my God, 51, like, I don't know what I'm finna do. They finna cut my cell phone off. I need like $80. I was like, damn, this is the last day I'm gonna talk to you till you get that up, huh? Like, I'm trying to figure out, because I just met you. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that ain't the only thing that I said.
I'm sure.
That ain't the only thing that I said. And complete transparency, I told her, I was like, well, you can come over here, because she hadn't been over. You can come over. And the first thing she said, she was like, well, that sounds like prostitution. It can sound like prostitution. It can. I don't think of it that way, but it can sound that way. Because my point being is, if you feel strong enough to ask me for money, I don't need you to feel no type of way for asking for no pussy. Like, where we do this at? You know what I'm saying? Money is the most sacred thing to me, just like your pussy. But you ain't have no coof about asking for me for money.
Yeah.
So why the fuck do I have to have some coof by asking for some pussy for you to come over for me to pay a fucking phone bill?
Right.
Like, I get that. You know, some things can be a little like, I want the other person to assume the role of fixing the thing. But this is life. This is like a real thing called life. And to me, he didn't have no problem.
He didn't.
With asking you to pay for, what was it, daycare?
But he didn't ask, though. That's
He
the
assumed.
thing.
And that's the thing.
No, he didn't even assume. Listen to what he did.
I know what he did. He did some man shit.
Can we have a date night? Can we spend some time together? I would love to, but I picked up an extra shift. Oh my God, you've been working so much overtime. Why are you working this overtime? Well, the truth is, you know, I pay for my daughter's daycare and I'm behind. I don't have it. So let me just pay for this month's daycare so that you don't have to work that many shifts. It was me. But I also created a monster because now he knew how to get me. So every time after that, I feel like it was definitely my fault. I think the first time was just me being a woman. And I don't know whether I get what you're saying because you're a man. He may have been plotting the whole time to give me that line. But if it was true, if he did pick up the extra shift and he was responsible for his child's daycare, then that's neither here or there. Because those two things are true. I am working an extra shift because I am responsible for my child's daycare. It's a fact whether he plotted to say it or not. So if I'm this person's girlfriend, I'm involved in their life, and I need the quality time, if I got it, I got it. So I'm going to fix that problem so it doesn't get in the way of what I want. And when you're young with no children and you're making money and you got it like that, which I'm just going to say I had it like that. It wasn't a big deal for me. It wasn't $70 ain't shit. That's a scratch off. Here, have it. My issue was the way that he treated me. My issue was the lack of gratitude. My issue was the habit that it created.
But why does he owe you any gratitude? He didn't ask for nothing.
Okay, the gratitude is the fact that I solved the problem. So when someone gets you thirsty and asks for a glass of water, you don't say thank you. When you give somebody a problem and they fix it, you don't say thank you. That's fucking common decency.
That's cool, but a lot of people don't roll with common decency. You know what I'm saying?
Obviously.
Like.
I'm not saying he didn't say thank you, but I created a monster.
But I was asking, like, you know, you were saying like gratitude, this and that, and the thing that we're talking about is actually the same thing.
It is.
I could have paid for that. I could have paid for a phone bill, but I saw the problem from afar.
Yeah.
About to creep into something that I didn't want. Because only thing that happens is just like they saying on Podbean. Once they ask once and you open up that door,
floodgate.
It's just like all downhill from after that. It's gonna go from my phone bill is short, then it's gonna move to I'm short on rent, then it's gonna move to my car note short, and I'm stopping that shit before it even go any further. Because guess what I said at the very beginning? I'm gonna say it again. The only fucking person that's mad is you, because you is the doer of feeling like a fucking moron.
Right.
Because they sleeping in their bed at night, cool.
Let me tell you what it is, though.
I know what it is.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem when you're on the shallow end. When you're on the, let me tell you the difference.
You on the deep end. You just don't.
Most of the time I am on the deep end, but I've also been on the shallow. I just recently had a woman that I've actually trying to be like, you know, I've been trying to talk with her, you know, build a little rapport with her or whatever for a long time. We've known each other for a long time. I'm always the one initiating a conversation. Lo and behold, when she needs something, she on my line. I need a ride. My kids need this, or I need this. You always seem to call when you need a favor. I have said no every goddamn time because I'm at the shallow end. You haven't done enough for me to feel like I need to do this for you. So it's easy when I'm on the shallow end to say, yeah, fucking right. Like, I can't want to help you more than you want to just say, hey, good morning, bitch. Like, goddamn, I don't get hello. I don't get how are you doing. I don't get just a call to be like, just to shoot the shit. I only get a call if you need something. So it's easy for me to be like, bitch, what? I don't even like, look at your texts. I don't even like, whatever, you're a bum. Like, you showing me that you're a bum. But I'm in the shallow end, so it's easy. When you're in the deep end and you've established, I like this person, they're putting in the effort that you feel is a standard, they're doing all those things, you find yourself in the deep end. And when you're in the deep end, it is just harder to say no to somebody. It is. And it's also hard to, at the same time it's hard to do that, it's also hard to show that person that you're vulnerable if you're not feeling the same in return.
Again, like I said, I think that's more of a woman thing more than a man. I don't give a fuck how far we into this shit. If I don't like something and you doing some shit that I don't like, I'm addressing it. It's just, it is what it is at the end of the day. Me being in a shallow or deep end don't have nothing to do with why people will take advantage of you. Like, they can take advantage of you even more when you in a deeper end, so you get and take advantage of even more.
Right.
And I find so many people sitting idle because they friends are asking for shit and want them to do shit and this and that. And they might have a man. Hey, my girlfriend want me to run her some hair. What the fuck does that have to do with us?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would be mad if I was trying to hook up with somebody for 2 weeks and they called me and was telling me what they were doing for someone else that wasn't someone I feel like should be a priority over me. I would be livid, and it would be the last thing I wanted to hear from that person.
But
I have literally been trying to hang out with you for the last 4 weeks, and you have the nerve to be on my line telling me what you're running around doing with somebody else. That is like a psh in the face, because one, you haven't even acknowledged that I haven't seen you in 4 weeks. You haven't even touched it because you don't want to. You're scared, so you won't go near it. And then you will be almost ignorant enough to sit on the phone with me and tell me what you're doing for someone else. That is a slap in the face.
But I just said to you, that's your problem. And the reason being why I'm saying that is because is a doer. People that are doers often say, I want you to match the energy instead of looking at the whole picture. A lot of times when you're looking at other people that, like, you take me for example. I have the type of personality that people are scared to ask me for shit, ask questions, whatever the case may be. It's like they ask somebody else to ask me, but that's because they know me. And then sometimes, as a doer, you also have to know other people. I hear what you're saying as far as that. This person is going X, Y, Z, but this and that. But was that person this person when you was messing with them? Were they that type of person that does these other things for X, Y, Z, this and that? Like, a lot of times when men get in relationships with women, they start restructuring their life because they become a person. Like, when, you know, I ask my girl some shit. Why are you doing this for this person? Why are you doing this for this person? Why are you doing this for... Well, they asked, and, you know, I known them for so long, and I had to... You didn't have to do shit. It's just that they know your personality is someone that won't say no, and people take advantage of you. I talked to another chick. People always use me for money, and blase this and that, and always have them around. Well, they always have you around because you're the person always picking up the goddamn check. You're the person that's always paying. Sometimes you gotta look in the motherfucking mirror and realize that sometimes the problem can either be you, and like I said, is a doer, you're the one that upset. But also, I get that. But you have to look at the person and be like, is this person the type of person, before me, take you out the equation and say, do they run around with a chicken with their head cut off? Are they doing XYZ for this person, XYZ for this person, XYZ for this person? You might have to sit down and have a conversation with that person and be like, is it a particular reason why every time this person calls, you can't say no? Every time this person calls, you have to do something. Every time this person call, you got to do that. Me, on the other end, because people are scared to ask me for shit, I don't get those fucking questions. That's like, hey, ask 51 if, won't you go ask him? It turns into that type of shit, but it's a reason why because that's the aura that I give off.
Right.
So if you having a problem with someone and you looking at that person saying, well, they doing this for this person, I haven't seen them in like 4 weeks or whatever, 2 weeks, whatever this and that. Sometimes you got to get down to the end because it might be something that they don't see. Sometimes when you in that frame, you don't see that you doing everything because you're trying to help everybody. Too much shit on the plate. Too much scrambled eggs, grits, all that type of shit on that plate. And, you know, you might have to sit down with them to say, look, I need you to scrape off some of, if I'm a priority, scrape off some of
And
that
that's
shit
what
on your
realism is
plate.
about. You have to make that sacrifice. So we're gonna switch topics, and it kind of this topic is a great segue into the next topic. And the next topic is geared around not only letting go of the person who hurt you or people who hurt you, but moreover letting go of the person who allowed those people to treat you that way. So it makes sense to the first topic because you were saying you're such a doer, you're such a doer. Then if you're that way, then maybe you need to change your actions because being a doer is attracting the wrong people. And it's hard for me to swallow that pill because I feel good about being a doer. And I didn't want to give off like a bad energy when I was like, I got it like that. But
how you feel afterwards? Do you
I
like?
feel good. I only feel bad when it's not returned. And don't get me wrong, I don't mean I spend 100, you spend 100. What I mean by return is the gratitude, the hug behind it, the kiss behind it, the thank you behind it, the effort behind it. You know, I said a couple of weeks back, I could take you on a $2,000 vacation and you can match that $2,000 vacation with a picnic on grass at a park with nothing but a swing set. Because the effort that took, the thought of packing a blanket and making sandwiches, like imagining a guy picking out a great blanket and making sandwiches, putting mayonnaise on the bread, putting together, wrapping it in foil, putting it in a Ziploc bag, packing it in this thing, getting something to drink, getting glasses in that's a lot for a man. And as a woman, I realize that and I appreciate it. So if I spent $50,000 and it was matched by a nice picnic, I wouldn't look at it as, damn, I got a what? $20 picnic and I paid for a $5,000 vacation. That is not gonna be my thought. My thought is gonna be like, wow, like girl, he took me on a picnic. That picnic to me is like giving me $1 million fucking dollars, be honest with you. Because that is something that only 1 in a million men, for me, I feel like is gonna do. I don't know a lot of men that's gonna put together a picnic basket. I don't know a lot of men that would get on one knee in front of a whole bunch of people and profess his dying love. So when people do shit like that, I appreciate it. I don't need to, my man get on the knee and say, hey, will you marry me? I don't feel like I need to get on one knee and say yes. I don't need to match what you just did. But the way that I say yes and the way that I hold you and the way that I treat you going forward is going to show you how much I appreciate you getting down on one knee. That's what I mean by effort in that prospect. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for me, I don't want to change my gifts. I am a doer. I am someone who likes to take care of people. I am someone who is not selfish. I feel like if I look myself in the mirror and say, okay, you need to change being a doer. You need to change all of this happy-go-lucky shit because you're only going to get hurt. I just feel like my spirit would be different. So I'm almost willing to subject myself to that type of toxicity. But that's the subject is not only letting go of the person that uses me, but letting go of the person who allows people to use me. And I will say, for transparency, I don't know how to do that because I don't know how to be any different.
Another picnic basket, boo boo. I get what you're saying.
I'm done with him.
And I get it. I will say this. I listen to, because we do podcasts, I listen to a lot of people do like podcasts. And interesting enough, something like this actually came up on a podcast that I was listening to where the woman was like, I give a bunch of stuff, I do a bunch of things for people and it's just never reciprocated. And I find myself not wanting to change who she is because it makes her feel good, like what you were saying. Mm-hmm. But was teeter-tottering on the level of I feel good, but I'm feeling like used and abused and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And the response to it was, you need to open your eyes. And when it was said, she still was like, huh, like I don't get that. Mm-hmm. But to me, I was like, I know exactly what he mean. When I see people that like yourself that are doers and stuff like that, they don't open their eyes enough to see users like when they in the room, like or just around. They call this person a friend, and they a user. You know, they man come in and can see immediately that your sister's a user, your uncle's a user, your cousin is definitely a user. Like they come in and see immediately all this shit. You want to keep doing, and I'm not saying not to stop doing. I'm saying open your eyes. Like you saying like I don't understand how to do it. Open your eyes. Like if you open your eyes, a lot of times people are what they present to you. Hey, cuz, I was wondering, could you give me a ride to Steak and Shake? Hey, cuz, I was wondering, can you drop me off to the club? Hey, cuz, like, open your eyes at some point in time to start putting some stock on that do. You get what I'm saying? Make it a Mountain Dew. I don't give a fuck. Like, just put a stop to it. And the reason you keep getting used is because each situation is different. Family members, I get it. Family members can be a little hard to say no to. I have no problem saying no to motherfuckers. But for some reason, like family members do. But at the end of the day, like I said, while they sleeping like a baby, you in the motherfucking house or in your bed stressing. I watched this ESPN special called Broke about athletes that went broke. One of the football players on that bitch said every time he got paid, there was a different family member by his car when he left practice. Now I'm trying to figure out to myself, I know it's a family member. I totally get it. But damn, how many stories you gonna give me? Damn, cuz, they about to repossess my house. Damn, cuz, I just need $5,000 because I got this quick get rich scheme that could double my money and I can get this back to you. A lot of athletes can handle it a lot of different ways. If I was an athlete, I would handle it one way. I'm giving you one lump sum of money. I'm like the bank. Once you run out of this lump sum of money, don't come back to me. Unless you either got my money in return, other than that, you're broke. It's just as simple as it's nothing personal. I understand you a cousin, blood, whatever the case may be, but it don't take all that. But that takes opening your eyes. People be using this card of usage, always trying to tug at your heartstrings, giving you a whole bunch of shit. Like you can't come to the table with nothing every goddamn time.
So my thing is, now that I sit here and I actually think about the meme, I hate to say that I don't feel like it makes a lot of sense. I understand what you're saying by being opening your eyes, but saying that is easy. But then asking someone to change who they are at their core is not. And I'm only saying that because I don't feel like, for me, I have been in 3 solid relationships my entire life. Mm-hmm. Each one of those relationships, I'm going to say this. I have been the same girl. Mm-hmm. I've been the same girl. Okay. But my partner's changed, and I ended up with somebody now that I feel like deserves the girl that I am. Mm-hmm. But I haven't changed. Okay. I haven't changed.
So the other people that got it, did they deserve it?
No.
And that's why, because you didn't open your eyes. This is exactly what I'm talking about right here. It's like, I listen to women sometimes. They be like, especially when they on the latter end of life, and they be saying that they single, and they be like, oh, I'm single, I'm fine by myself, you know, so I'm doing good. It's girl power, the whole 9. I don't need no man, this and that. Now deep down, they really want a man, you know what I'm saying? But they're not willing to change themselves or open their eyes, but they want to fish from the same pond, cast the same rod, pulling out the same men a lot of times. If you open up your eyes, and not only for other people, but sometimes even yourself, to say, why is it that I keep picking men that use me for money? Why do I keep picking men that are abusive? Why do I keep picking men? Like, there's a reasoning, like, behind that.
It's trauma.
And all of it ain't trauma. All of it ain't trauma. Some of it can also be that you weren't taught any better. You know what I'm saying? That don't got nothing to do with trauma. If you grow up in a household, and I see this happen a lot. Women grow up in this household full of women. It's like 6 women. Got 3 aunties, all this other type of shit, your mama, this and that. None of them got a man. Not goddamn one. But you sitting in the circle of 6 women who ain't got a man, but they giving advice about men. Men ain't shit. Ba 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 ba. 3-piece popcorn. And you sitting there listening to this shit. And my question to you would be why? I understand it's your sister. I understand it's your cousins. I understand that. But none of them have men. Not fucking one.
Right.
You don't be taking advice from them and they ain't got no man. You understand? So even though you was raised in that don't mean that was trauma. That means you're around the wrong people. Right. But just like me, when I opened up my business, I'm around people. I had to cut off my friends that were still in the streets, still doing shit, this and that, because they are not business owners.
Right.
In order for me to thrive, I have to get around business owners to develop a business sense, a business mindset, to see how they think. I couldn't just stay with my homeboys that I just hung around in the streets with.
Yeah.
It don't make sense. I'm not gonna be successful, and I could keep ties to them, but I'm gonna be where they at.
Right. So that was, so using an example like that, I feel like that's your ambition. So that is just a characteristic of 51. Is that 51 is ambitious. So it's a characteristic of you. I don't know if it's your character. Your character is more of something that is innate, something that you do very naturally, like being a problem solver, being someone who is always the ear, being someone who's attracted to people with broken wings. Those things I think we do unconsciously. We're ambitious consciously. We know we want to succeed and we're doing things consciously to succeed. When you are somebody that's getting used, sometimes you're doing just what you know to be very natural. I don't know how to be any different than that. I just don't know how to be any different than I am when I'm in a relationship. I am the same girl every single time. Cook, clean, very submissive. Any one of the men that I've been with that you talk to, that's what y'all gonna all have in common. Was she submissive? Everybody's gonna say yes. Did she cook and clean? Everybody's gonna say yes. You understand what I'm saying? So it's hard to say to somebody, hey, yeah, you let him go, but you didn't change what about yourself that allowed that person to treat you that way. It's because I don't know how to change that.
But I wouldn't ask you to change yourself. I would evaluate what you're doing. And that's why I brought up my ambition is my ambition. But the difference is my character is I want to fucking win. I'm a winner.
Right.
Through and through. I'm a winner. When someone say I can't do something, I can prove them wrong. Know why? Because I'm a winner. I don't believe in losing. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I can't lose, but I don't believe in losing. Mm-hmm. So if you looking at your life and saying that I was in this bad relationship and I was in this bad relationship, and I'm quite sure out of relationship, you say I'm not in that many, I wasn't in that many relationships.
Right.
But looking back at them relationships, like most women, you're going to be like, I wish I would have never met him, and I wish I would have never met him, and this person is a person that really deserved it, and I bet you that the person that you say deserve it carry different characteristics that the other person and this other person did not carry. But that's because at some point in time, you got to open your eyes. I feel like when people come to different relationships, they start setting different boundaries and also goals for what they will choose. I won't accept this shit no more because this person did X, Y, and Z in that last relationship. Mm-hmm. So you don't go to that next relationship looking for the next person. But what could happen is you could be in the same cesspool. Pulling out the same shit. So I wouldn't say to change you being a doer, but the person gotta fucking be worth it. And where to find the person to be worth it, you might need to get out the cesspool and start looking at mountains. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's not about you changing necessarily who you are. I didn't change who I was when I started a business. I'm still me. You know what I'm saying? And people who run into me operating business-wise realize it's still me. but my attitude towards stuff and everything else is the same.
Right.
I want to win. And if you ain't here on this team to try to win, I don't need you around my team if you just sitting around eating popcorn.
Being idle.
Like I can't have that. And I would tell women that. Like it's a reason why you might have a black eye. You might be a doer and want that energy for that person to reciprocate, but also look at the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not sure, I'm not a woman, but if you ever sat around or at dinner, or even in the bed with a person and start having any second level like questions or thought in your head, like I did this for this person. This person just don't appreciate it. I did this for this person. What did I get out of this? Having these little moments. As a man, I have those moments. I do be in relationship and wonder like, I'm taking this much lip. Why? Why am I taking this? Is it worth the pushback that she giving me? Does she do enough? Does she help me? Does she support me? I look at all this type of shit. Does she bring me enough pussy? Like, I look at everything. And then I'm going to make one big assessment. And I don't care how deep I'm in it. If you ain't bringing what I need to the table to make me happy and make me sleep at night,
Gotta go. And it's almost our time. But before we do that, we have to do our tap in segment of the show.
Oh yeah, I got one. This one gonna trip you out because it's crazy. But we gonna just keep it moving. So it goes like this. So if I ride with a girl and she go to the gas station, do I have to pump her gas if I'm in her car?
I like it.
Oh, on God, I'd rather take the bus. What are women supposed to do for men? Like dead ass. Everyone knows what men supposed to do, but what about them? They think just because they exist, that's enough.
Can I please start off?
You can start it off and I will finish.
I don't pump gas. It's and this is the thing. I'm not going to say that I've never pumped gas because I have. But something interesting happened to me. I was at the gas station. I was pumping gas and this man offered to pump my gas. I felt like almost it could have been a pickup line. It could have been. I didn't take it that way because of the way he approached me. Excuse me, ma'am. Where your man at? At home. Why? You don't need to be pumping no gas. Let me do that. You know what I'm saying? And I thought about it. I really hate pumping gas. And I hate it. And it just seems like a thing that a girl shouldn't do if she doesn't have to. I understand sometimes we have to pump our own gas. But I think it hit me one time because I have said this whole show I'm a doer. All the ladies are probably going to jump on me, especially if my mom is listening. I have been in the car with a man and gotten out to pump the fucking gas while he sat in the car. And I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're listening to this, you're saying, oh, hell no. Why would you ever do that? It is innately who the fuck I am. I do everything. And I move so fast, I'm almost like Supergirl. Do this. Everything, I'm always fucking moving. I'm moving so fast, I'm not thinking. And I imagine myself seeing someone I care about, like my daughter, with a man. That man is sitting in the car on a cold day and my daughter is pumping the fucking gas. I have a fucking problem with that. Now his leg and back might hurt. There might be a good reason why she pumping gas. But guess what? We're going to have a fucking conversation about it. I'm going to ask her why the man was sitting in the car while she was pumping the gas. Now I'll go in to pay and let my man pump, but there's no reason why I've even done it. And I take back, I don't feel right about it. I shouldn't have done that. I should have allowed a man to be a man and sat my ass in that car when we pulled up to that pump. And do what I do now. You want me to go in and pay for the gas, baby? But I'm not going to offer to pump it. I'm just not. Doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. And it gives other people an opportunity to kind of slide in there and make you question what are you doing? Where's your husband? You shouldn't be out here pumping no gas. I can't remember whether the weather was bad, but there was an extenuating circumstance. I know I was dressed up because it was after work and something was going on. It was either dark or it was raining and windy, and he had a genuine concern like you should not be doing that. And And it changed me that day going forward. It did, because I looked at things differently from that day going forward. So you should be pumping the fucking gas.
Gotcha. I appreciate that story. I really do. What I will say is this, though. And this is crazy, too, but I got to address it from both sides because that's just who I am as a person. Women sometimes pick and choose when they want to be a woman and choose when they want to be, I am woman, hear me roar. You know what I'm saying? And I really get it. And I'm just answering his question or his debate from the side. Sounds like he's in this new age, day where women are like, I don't need a man for shit. I don't need a man for shit. And the reason that's coming off that way is because women start saying shit like this. Like, I don't need a man to do shit. And that's why he's saying, you know, like, people know men roles. Like one day, I was either I was on YouTube, IG, I can't really remember, and this guy was the woman was changing the tire. He was on like IG. And people on there was like, why are you not changing the tire? The woman was down there. And he said, I told her that I change tires. I don't know how to change a tire. She can call AAA because she got AAA. I don't change tires. Her daddy taught her how to change a tire. My daddy didn't teach me how to change a tire. So for someone saying I'm less than a man, when I'm telling her ass I don't change tire, this is why she changing the goddamn tire. Now, hearing him say that, I was like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like most people on that live was like, they know what men do. A man should be changing the tire. A man should be changing tire. But he didn't know how to change a tire. And now he catching fault because she's not listening to what he telling her to do. She didn't have to change the tire, but neither the fuck did he. So her being Shira, hear me roar, you want to make him look like he weak, which he did. I'm not saying that it don't look weak. Not saying that. It did look weak. But it also showed me that she also wasn't listening to what the fuck he said.
I was going to say that. I was going to say he looked weak for two reasons. He looked weak because he went on IG. He shouldn't have fucking done that while she was fucking changing tires.
He was trying to make a point.
All his energy should have been on why isn't she listening to what she was told. He shouldn't have allowed her. It takes a lot of effort. First, you gotta turn the key. You gotta push the button or unlock the trunk. You gotta lift the tire out. You got to get the shit from under there. She doing a whole bunch of shit with a grown man that's allowing her to make all them fucking moves, and he didn't put his foot down and say you ain't changing no fucking tire.
So let me ask you a question. You said the word allow.
Yeah.
I wanna focus on this word just for a second. Now, 2021. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of women that's looking at this podcast and shit like that. What was he supposed to do? Hold on. He tells her to call AAA. Because I want you also to understand one thing about women. Women are very delusional and hard-headed human beings. So because she's in a pissed off state trying to do all that shit. Saw how you did all that shit, like you know what I'm saying? I'm doing all this shit.
Several steps.
Yeah, she doing a bunch of shit that he told her not to do. But you said he allowed her to do it. So I'm just saying, what was he supposed to do? Hey,
not be beta.
Call AAA. No. Don't say what not to do. I'm saying, tell me exactly what is he supposed to tell her? What he supposed to beat up, slap her?
No.
What he supposed to do?
But he's supposed to be man enough that his word is bond. If he told her ass to call motherfucking AAA, that's what the fuck she should have did. And the fact that she didn't makes me question him in the household. Who the fuck wear the pants? Because I know if my man tell me to call AAA and I ain't changing no motherfucking tire, I'm calling AAA and I ain't changing no motherfucking tire. So I can't relate. Not relate to being around a man that after he told me to do something, I was brave enough to make several of all them moves that I just went through to change a fucking tire.
So are they both in the wrong or like?
They are both in the wrong, but I am questioning him more than I'm questioning her because he did some bitch shit.
I got you. But this is what he's talking about. He was like, remember it says what everyone knows what men supposed to do, but no one knows what women are supposed to do. Now, I will say, as far as topic is, I've never heard of no shit about pumping no gas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get all that shit. Changing the tires one thing, pumping some gas is totally fucking different. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying I won't pump no gas, but what I'm saying is that ain't on the Richter scale of some shit that I know that women ain't supposed to be doing is pumping gas. You can buy the fucking car, you can pump the fucking gas. Now, I ain't saying I won't pump the gas for you. You get what I'm saying? And I think I'm not necessarily sure. Let me make sure. If he went in, and this is just a question. If he went in and paid, do he pump the gas then? If he went in and paid, are you pumping the gas?
No.
So he goes in and pays.
I would rather go pay. I would go pay before I pump. But if he want to go do both, then I'm not trading him off to pump the gas. I'm just not doing it. If we're together, you're pumping.
Gotcha. Now, where he wrong at is he's in her car. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I just got to be honest about the shit. If he in her car, you the passenger in that shit, you should be pumping the gas. That's where I could really say that. That's where that shit kind of go left because it is gonna make her look at him kind of crazy. Like shit, you on my gas? She probably riding him somewhere. So it's a bunch of shit that go on. But I was just saying, never heard of like men have to pump gas. So I mean I get it. If my woman said to me like, hey, I just would prefer it if I just don't want to pump gas, baby. And I'll be like, cool, we'll have to work out some shit, you know what I'm saying? And everything will be dandy.
All right.
So that's what it is for me.
Yeah. I just moved fast. My mom actually got mad at me not that long ago because I was cleaning up and I was in cleanup mode and I went to take out the trash. And she said, hold up. Why are you taking out the trash?
Man job,
Let him, that's the man's job. And I thought that was really ignorant. I'm not handicapped. I'm cleaning up. I don't want to wait for him to take out the trash because he might do it 4 hours from now. I want to take out the trash now. You understand what I'm saying? So there is a thin line.
And that's why I said these things become confusing to me. And that's why I'm saying that's what he's saying. He like, well, what the fuck does a woman do? Because at this point in time, women have so much shit that they saying they can do. So that's where they come in at.
That's another episode of Relations, guys. It's time for us to go. Thanks for tapping in. My name is Kayla Lassiter. You can find us find me at Twitter, Facebook, and IG at Kayla Lassiter.
Want to take over shit. I can do my own.
You can find us at.
I can do my own goddamn ending. So you can find me at Twitter and IG 51 Spade. I want to thank everybody for joining me on Podbean. Please follow. Hey, we have a YouTube channel if you want to see us live and in 3D. You know how that always gonna look. So check us out every Friday if you want to see this handsome face. Now, like I said, if you're looking for the shirts, it's mailgodcreations.com. And like I always say about this time, don't hate,